Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal, Champions League semi-final, first leg, match preview through the Canon lens. So it's Wednesday the 29th of April 2026. It's an 8 p.m. kickoff. It's Atletico Madrid versus Arsenal, in the Champions League semi-final, first leg. Looking at two sides' road to the semi-final, taking into account the league phase and the quarter-final result. So Atletico Madrid in the league phase finished 14th place, and in the quarterfinals they beat Barcelona 3-2 on aggregate to get to the semis. Whereas Arsenal, we were first in the league phase. In the quarterfinals, we beat Sporting Lisbon 1-0 on aggregate. So it's going to be a tough game from an Arsenal perspective. How I look at it is we just need to stay in the tie. Bring them over to the second leg at the Emirates, where fans will be behind us, and we've beat them before 4-0 at the Emirates. Of course, it's a different time. Atletico have improved from then. They're not just good defensively, they're also good offensively now. So it's going to be a totally different game. But in this game, just stay in the tie. If we get any chances, half chances, we've got to take it. Utilize our set pieces as best we can. And yeah, try and get something from this game to bring them back to the Emirates in the second leg. Tactical analysis and prediction. So predicted 11 for this game: Raya in goal, Mosquera at right back, Saliba and Gabriel at centre back, Hikape at left back. In the midfield, Zubimendi, Rice and Odegaard, and the front three, and Eze, Gyökeres and Saka. That's my predicted 11 for the game. And yeah, I feel we obviously need to make sure we're alert defensively. We know they've got players that can hurt us. Alvarez, Griezmann, Sorloth and Lutman, they can all hurt us on their day. They've also got players that can play the passes to them. Midfield-wise, I think it's going to be a midfield battle. They usually play for 4-4-2, but sometimes it's like a 5-3-2. And we just got to be mindful of their, the way they play. And, they kind of create a lot of chances quite quickly. And when, they can shoot from the edge of the box, inside the box, they can be a threat from set pieces. They sometimes do a long throw. They sometimes are effective from set pieces, attacking wise. You've got to be mindful of that defensively. Midfield, try and win the midfield battle. Try and get on the ball play quickly, to the forwards. Zubimendi, Rice, double pivot in this game, I reckon. Odegaard, being creative, playing the ball forward to the likes of Saka, Eze, Gyökeres linking up. That intricate play is going to be needed. Of course, we need to rekindle our threat from set pieces in this game. They're not very great at defending set pieces, so we can get at them. Maybe some, outswingers. They usually deal with in-swingers quite well. So maybe some outswingers from our set pieces, and attack the ball when the ball goes into the box. We've got great players in the air like Gabriel, Saliba, Cape, even, I think Gyökeres can attack the ball, mix it up a bit sometimes. And yeah, when we get our chances, there will be few because they're very good defensively. We've got to take them. Key strengths, of course, we've got to try and be, dominate in possession. Good defensive balance. We need to be mindful of that. Attacking width of Saka. I think Saka, and Odegaard, that link up could, be effective in this game. I think Eze coming in field sometimes and linking up with Gyökeres and Rice and Odegaard. A lot of intricate play is going to be needed in this game. We've got to be mindful of their fullbacks that bomb on sometimes. And yeah, we've got to be very vigilant of their set pieces. Alvarez, he can shoot from outside the box from a set piece. Got to be mindful of that. Yeah, so what to expect, of course, like battle of possession, creative threat, and clinical finishing when we get our chance. And yeah, obviously my match prediction, I'm going to go Atletico Madrid 1, Arsenal 1. It's going to be a tight tactical battle with few chances created. A draw, I think, will keep us in the tie because in the second leg we bring them back to our place where I think, we'll have the advantage of the home fans, and, we've beat them at the Emirates before 4-0. Of course, it's going to be a totally different game because it's a different time and they've improved. But I do believe we can get through the second leg, but just stay in the tie. So yeah, that's your tactical analysis and prediction. Drop your predictions in the comments below and stay tuned for the post-match reflection after the game. It will be a late one. And if you found this insightful, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel at Canon Insight. Follow at Canon Insight on Instagram and TikTok. Please remember to like the video, comment and share. Thank you.